2022 was an exceptional year for anime. Personally, there were many animes that were hyped, and I mean so hyped that I saw this and this. I swear this scene would never leave my Insta page for days. I couldn't fathom what was happening to the anime community as a whole. There were animes that got recognition, including some that had reached worldwide, and even in the midst of all this hype, there were many that were revived from the dead, and a lot were hidden in the stacked year of 2022. This is my first time making a video like this, so I'll be separating this video into segments. So if you want to skip between them, go ahead. And if there's any animes that I missed, then let me know down in the comments. Okay, here we go. Let's start off with the dubious amount of seasonal animes we have gotten. We got Attack on Titan Season Finale Part 2, the final season of Love is War, Season 2 of Rise of the Shield Hero, third and final season of Mob Psycho 100, Season 6 of My Hero Academia, Season 2 of Demon Slayer, Season 2 of Classroom of the Elite, Season 4 of Overlord, Season 2 of Arifureta, Season 5 of Picking Up Girls in a Dungeon, Season 2 of To Your Eternity, Season 3 of Teasing Master Takagi-san, Season 2 of Uzaki-chan Wants a Hug, Season 3 of Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, Season 2 of Princess Connect Redrive, Season 3 of Ascendance of a Bookworm, Season 2 of Shadow House, Season 4 of Golden Kamuy, Season 4 of Kingdom, Season 5 of Yowamushi Pedal, Season 2 of Dao is a Part-Timer, Season 2 of Komi Can't Communicate, Season 2 of Science Fell in Love, Season 2 of Maiden Abyss, Season 4 of Day Alive, Season 3 of The Daily Life of Immortal King, and we even got cores such as Spy Family, Orient, The Case of Vanitas, and How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Yeah, so if you were watching any of these and keeping up with them, then you should go talk to a doctor. Well, I believe I can't be the only one who can say this, but I'm pretty sure a lot of us thought that 2022 was gonna be an empty year with only a few good animes. However, I can say for everyone that 2022 had so many unexpected things that came out of it. We got Lycoris Recoil, which was a slice of life anime but with more intense action fights with a mix of comedy between interactions between Chisato and Takina. The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting was a wholesome new anime about a gangster trying his best to take care of the boss's daughter in his new mission. Akiba's Maid was pretty much a crossover between Japan and America, with their gangs, fights, and gambling, and many more, all while being dressed up in maid outfits. Summertime Rendering was a great mystery anime about Shinpei who was trying to solve the mysteries in hopes he could save his residents. Do it yourself is basically, as the name implies, just doing things yourself. Recipe for Happiness was about a guy named Irino who returns to his home for the first time in 10 years to take over the family street stop but instead becomes a father. Sabikui Bisco was a strange anime in a post-apocalyptic world where the MC is on a search for a legendary mushroom, but they got a cool crab. Aoashi is a new sports anime about a boy who believes he can be the best striker with his team and they strive for a career in soccer. Simple concept. However, there was another soccer anime that came out and it's BLUELOCK. It takes on a whole different approach on the ideology of soccer, making it sports about who has a bigger ego, which in turn became a competitive game where the winner wins and the loser gets eliminated. So out of these two players, who is the better one? Let me know down in the comments. Tomodachi game is another Squid Game like a genre where a group of friends trying to figure out who hijacked the money for a school trip, and if you like the Classroom of the Elite kind of vibes, then you'll like this one for sure. And lastly, I'm putting Hearing, which may first sound and look like an Isekai, but is actually a hero who has been fighting monsters for years to try and protect the humans, in which in turn made people believe that he was a monster. So he decided to continue his journey with the Demon King. It's a pretty sad story depending on how you look at it, but the cast and the plot were really good and underappreciated. Well, speaking on the topic of isekais, who doesn't love a year of anime without some brand new isekais? Reincarnate as a sword is a guy who reincarnates as a sword. But what's different is that his wielder is a cat whose goal is to evolve and become stronger. Basically, it's like giving a level 1 player a legendary item that one-shots everything. The Eminence in Shadow is another anime which I've already made a video about, which you should check out, but basically the guy's a troll. That's all you really need to know. My isekai life, I gain a second class, basically has Rimaru's distant relatives. Life with an Ordinary Guy is some weird anime where the guy turns into a girl and his best friend likes his feminine version of him. I'm the Villainess just by the name reminds me of the infinite amount of manhwas there exist. Parallel World Pharmacy is basically a young pharmacist who gets reincarnated into another world where they have a pharmacy, and look at his name, it's literally meant for him. Trapped in a dating sim is where the MC tries to win over the woman with his immaculate Riz. Black Summoner is a boy who transfers into another world but loses his past memories in exchange for some powerful abilities. When I look at Skeleton Knight in another world, it just reminds me of a Walmart version of Ainzel Gon. The Executioner and her way of life is a take on the Isekai, but it's a bit different by stopping the otherworldly people of Japan from invading their land in hopes of no destruction. Your boy Kongming is a crossover anime about a legendary figure from China who travels to the future in Japan and meets a girl with the aspiration of becoming a singer. He uses his war knowledge to help the girl get popular and become a famous singer. And by the way, he always reminds me of Luke Skywalker, and the opening hits hard. Uncle from Another is about an uncle who comes back to his world but he retains otherworldly powers. And the last, the ASMR anime. You might as well watch Twitch if you wanted this. 2022 had many mysteries so far, but none like the emergence of romance animes. There should be a Crunchyroll award for the best girl. My Dress Up Darling was one of the more hyped and acclaimed anime about a guy named Gojo who only wants to make Hina dolls, but meets a girl named Marin who loves to cosplay. After these two meet, it became a fun story of the two who achieved their passion with each other. Komi can't communicate, as the name implies, is about a girl who can't properly communicate, but there is one person who understands her. His name is Tadano, the MC. This anime is a rom-com where Komi's goal is to make 100 friends. It is a simple but heartwarming story where you will fall in love with most of the characters. More Than a Married Couple But Lovers is an anime where two female students, a male and a female, are forced to live together in an apartment-style room as a married couple. They gain points for doing things that couples usually do. The male and female leads get paired together, have crushes on people other than themselves, and guess what? Both of their crushes got paired together. This anime immediately reminded me of Toradora, the first romance anime I watched. But if you like Toradora, then you might like this one as well. Aharen-san stars another quiet girl and is quite a wholesome anime. Nothing really happens in this show that is worth noting. Shikimori is not just a cutie, it's a very simple and wholesome anime where the roles are reversed. The female lead in this anime is more dominant and the male lead is much more tamer and is in a klutz. My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex is a high school rom-com where two people used to date in middle school and now broke up, but as they went to high school, their parents got married to each other, which now makes them step-siblings. This anime isn't as weird as it seems. It's kinda like a tamer version of Domestic Girlfriend. Moving on, I wanted to make a special segment for Netflix because even though we never hear anime releases coming out from Netflix, this year was an exception with many animes releases that came out and were actually good. Romantic Killer is about a girl who actually not interested in love but just wants to eat chocolate, play video games, and love cats. Things start to change when a wizard makes her first target and making people fall in love. It's a simple story but it had a great execution. Next up is Tekken Bloodline. There is not much I can say about this anime other than it had great hand-to-hand combat. I still enjoyed the anime as a whole, but I'm sure that people who actually played the game will probably have a much better experience watching it. Kotaro Lives Alone is a very wholesome and sad story about a kid who lives alone because his parents are gone, so he lives in his apartment and tries to live along with his neighbors. It's a story more hurtful but wholesome, which makes me want to appreciate the things I experienced when I was little. Lookism is a webtoon adapted series where the MC lives with two bodies. I've already made a video on this, so you should go check it out. The 7 Deadly Sins, Grudge of Edinburgh Part 1 is basically the Boruto of 7 Deadly Sin series, but I'll always remember it as the 7 FPS for its super underwhelming fights towards the end of the series. Vampire in the Garden takes place where humans are nearly extinct and vampires take over, and the humans are taking refuge and are trying to fight back the vampires. The MC takes a stance on the matter where she realizes that there is a misunderstood look on the opposing sides. Its premise is nothing new, with two people adventuring while trying to stay away from the war against their parties. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is one of the more unexpected animes that came out in 2022, especially from Netflix. I mean, who would have thought that there would be an anime after a historic gaming meltdown in history? But it had an amazing show of hardship, adversity, and love, and a great rendition of what Cyberpunk could have been. It takes place in a dystopian cyber world with David growing up in the slums of New York with her hardworking mom who tries to make a living while trying to get her son to live a better life. Things immediately go south as she dies, and now David has to live on his own. It becomes a story of how tough a world can be without anything, yet feeling so free. He and the crew were a fantastic group of people that were enjoying the ride while living in this unfair world. Definitely would recommend it. Now, out of everything I said, nothing beats these animes in terms of the immense hype they received, some even breaking never before seen records. So let's talk about the animes that got recognition before they were even released. Bleach 1000 Year Blood War made a spectacular return and didn't disappoint, especially now that even the mangaka is in the production to make sure the final arc will be the best piece of the Bleach saga. I'm a bit happy that they're taking their time because such a good anime needs to be approached with such passion and care, otherwise it will become like Boruto. Everything else I've talked about has been said in this video, so go check it out. Spy X Family got its hype due to some of its loving characters. It's another wholesome anime with a family who lives with each other as a mother, father, and daughter combo. They are just a mere family, and all the prominent characters are hiding their abilities. Like, look at this character. She looks innocent, right? Well, she can read minds. And how about this character? Well, she's an assassin. and this guy's a spy, and this guy's a part of the secret police. JoJo's Stone Ocean was the 6th installment of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series, and unfortunately I got spoiled due to some Insta and TikTok edits. But even though I found out about it, nevertheless was a good anime with some great poses, fights, and very bizarre moments. Call of the Night is another hype anime, and I only think it's hyped because of Giga. This anime is about a normal guy and a vampire girl. Not really, she's kind of old. The anime starts off with a guy, Yamori, just quitting school and going out at the night. That's where he meets the girl Nazuna, who is a vampire. They go out and do things during the night, like sucking Ko's blood, while sleeping throughout the day, which is normal for Nazuna because she is a vampire. This anime has fantastic visuals that will surely catch your eye. I do believe this anime will get even better when it gets to season 2. Lastly, Chainsaw Man. If you got into anime and just started in 2022, chances are you heard about this anime. From the cosplays to the unhinged things that happen in the anime, or some weird things that the author does to his mangas, or maybe from the numerous amount of videos that people made about the anime. Yeah, it got so popular that some might say it was because of this character. Yeah, this character single-handedly put everybody in her genjutsu and made everybody bark on her command. The story itself is great. We get an MC who doesn't have big dreams but perhaps goals, you can say, and he has to live with the circumstances due to his ability to kill other creatures. The anime has a group of unorthodox characters that have their own wish. One want to go to college, another want to get with another guy, and this one wanted to make some new toys. Overall, the anime was great. With the implementation of 3D added, it made the fight scenes look cooler and way funnier, yet binge-worthy. Now it's what you guys have been waiting for, my favorite anime of 2022. The anime is chosen based on the story, its impact, characters, art, theme, and my overall enjoyment. So is it Chainsaw Man, Bleach, Call of the Night, Cyberpunk, Demon Slayer? Well, you might be surprised, it's not any of these. In fact, my favorite anime of 2022 is Bocchi the Rock. Yes, who would have thought that an anime with such a simple story would actually be so good? I didn't think I could ever relate to an anime on such a personal level like Bocchi the Rock. Like, there were so many things that I understand due to my own shy personality. Bocchi is about a girl who didn't have any aspirations until she encountered a person playing the guitar, and she immediately learned how to play it in hopes that she can create a band. But the catch is that she is too scared to talk to people and never wanted to be the extroverted person who didn't want to interact with people, something that I never wanted to do. But things start changing as she meets a band that needs guitars but also needed to lift her own weight by finding people for the band and trying to promote the band. It's a coming of age story of a girl who is trying to make her dreams come true while facing the limitations that are chained to her. Some may compare it to K-On, but for me it doesn't make a difference because everything was executed perfectly and it was creatively beyond its boundaries. From 30 to stick figures to real life hands to everything exaggerated to showcase the severity of the plot and showcasing the emotions that are running through the MC. The opening is my top 3 this year, and I never enjoyed an anime on such a personal level as Bocchi the Rock. And on that note, this concludes my anime of 2022. If you enjoyed this video, maybe a like, a comment, or even a subscribe would be nice. And let me know what you guys are excited to see in coming 2023.